welcome to this very special edition of the KJ Masterclass Live, the show which ensures that you profit from your time spent here with experts, either through their insights, information, or simply learning from them. And today we have Kevo. He's an artist, filmmaker, college professor, author. Welcome to the show, Kevo.
Thanks for having me, bro. How you doing over there?
Welcome to the show. Welcome to India in this online form. And I'm sure not just in India, but a lot of people across the world will benefit from what we are going to talk about. We'll be talking about unleashing one's artistic potential, and no better man than, Kevo to talk about that. So, first to understand from you, Kevo, is that, everybody defines art in their own form. How do you define art as? Because you are an artist, you are an art professor, you are so many things about art.
I define it as basically an expression of human creativity.
Right, right. Expression of, no, it is good. Good. You want to
Yeah,
add to that?
yeah. No. That's my definition of art, and it's just so many ways you can explain it, but that's a across the board. That's a fair estimation of what we call art.
Right, right. So, expression of human creativity, absolutely right. From our uh, oldest generations writing, drawing pictures in caves to what we have come together today. Today we have got artificial intelligence also creating art today. So this is the travel that we have made in terms of, you talked about expression of human creativity. You talk also about, bring through your art about racial dynamics, about human experiences, all of the things at the same time. Can we include that it also includes the human anguish as well, with related to so many things that he or she sees around in daily life? How do you look at that part in terms of art?
Well, the thing is, you have all of these terms. You have conceptual, you have, you know, contemporary and stuff like that. And when I think about human experiences, I think that the art becomes political. I think that the art becomes with a purpose. That's why I use that on my website, is that I have art with a purpose. And I think that the art becomes important in in the aspect of the creator. So my human experiences help me connect with people because I'm creating art to and for the people that I'm creating for, if that makes sense.
Right, right. And you also talk about business artistry. What is that business artistry? And secondly, if I understand, it's all about the business of art. I'll come to that. But first, help us understand about business artistry from you.
You said history?
Artistry, business artistry.
Oh, business artistry. Well, so yeah, so okay, in the world we live in, you know, you have to monetize things, and I think as an artist, it's come to a space to where ownership is more important than anything. There was a recent trial over a photographer and Andy Warhol's artwork that the court ruled in favor of the artist, and for musicians, they have a lot of issues with owning their masters. And I think that we live in this era to where paintings and drawings are not as commissioned as they were in the past. And now people want art immediately. They want access to it. So tattooing has been a great business to get into. As a matter of fact, one of my companies is my consultation business. And what I do is I schedule a 15-minute phone call with people who want to own a tattoo shop or are interested in owning a tattoo shop. And I basically tell them exactly how to do it and how to get the funding if they need it.
Right, right. So many people who are now who have a lot of creative potential, but many a times the need of their day-to-day lives, you need money to survive, so they get into professions which may not be actually representing what they are actually about,
Hmm.
and they keep on struggling, with how do I get out of this situation and achieve my artistic potential and I do something that I love. In your case, Kevo, is that you faced so many difficulties in life, even went to jail, but you kept on to this artistic profession, into art, artistry, and as an art professor.
Hmm.
What would you like to tell such people about not losing hope that they can still continue to be an artist in whatever they are doing and also look at full-fledged
I think that people, especially creatives or artists, you have to be around more artists, man, because you'll be able to gauge your talent a little bit better. You'll be able to understand why you think the way you think. And in terms of hope, that's a personal or a spiritual issue because, if you're losing hope in yourself, man, you're not alone. So, it's time to look in the mirror and don't feel sorry for yourself because a lot of people out here feel these negative emotions or feel like they're losing faith or something like that. But, if you're around the right people, especially for artists, if you're around other artists, it's going to be hard for you to lose that because you're going to be around people that's fighting the same battle as you.
Right, right. But how do you keep yourself motivated if you are facing different issues in life? How did you do it for yourself? You are not just one simple thing. You are
Yeah,
several
but
things.
I'm not normal either. So you got to think, like you said earlier. You said that I've been in jail before. You know, I grew up without my parents. I come from a very, very, very violent past and street culture. I am a very tough hearted person. So it's not hard for me to stay motivated when I don't have another option. Have you ever seen the film 300?
Yes.
There's a that this comes to mind while I'm talking to you. There's a scene that relates to this where the Arcadian told him told the Spartans that there are only two options. It's surrender or death, and he told the Arcadian, "Well, that's an easy decision for a Spartan because Spartans never surrender and Spartans never retreat, and it's not hard for me to stay motivated because I don't have any other option. I wasn't raised um, in the environment to where there was refuge or so it's normal to me to not even worry about being motivated. Like I've always had to work for what I have.
Right, right. But then you see, one can, just one start one thing and just be happy about it. What is your motivation of doing so many things, and continue to do and raising that bar higher for yourself in terms of, even you are an
Well,
entrepreneur also. So many
I'm
things. It is.
so glad. I'm so glad you asked me that question. You know, I don't have a, my ego is not. I'm in touch, man. I'm in tune. So humbly, there are artists before me that are so great and so accomplished, right? And I'm inspired by them, you know. So that keeps me going. The idea that Leonardo da Vinci, you know, I believe his last words were something like, I failed people and I failed God by not being able to recreate, just like the universe can. Picasso, look at how much work he did. Peter Paul Rubens, which is my favorite artist, look at the lifestyle that he lived. It's very hard for me not to be motivated in terms of who I look up to and who I'm inspired by. Some people got to change their heroes. Like some people's heroes are rappers. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not my brain is not. It doesn't work that way. I'm doing the play Vincent for the life of Vincent Van Gogh, and it's I'm just inspired, man. I'm just very, very. These are great artists that I want to be like. You know what I mean? These are remarkable artists that I want to be like, and there's no issue with that for me. It's no. I'm fine with saying that. That's why I said I can be humble about it because I know where I want to be.
Right, right. And a lot of people would want to be like you, Kevo. Reason is, that a lot of artists feel that there is not much in this line. Earlier, as you said, people used to get work
It
from it.
depends on what validates you. If that's what makes you happy, if you want to feel sustained by credit or by money or by attention, if that validates you, then fine. But work validates me. Accomplishments help me feel a sense of worth. So, maybe people do feel that way, but I'm not turned on by money more than I am by finishing a project. I'm a lot more satisfied spiritually by getting something done.
Right, Kevo. Right. In terms of, now we are in a different age, and a lot of people with creative mind, they will see, who will bother about my art. There is this artificial intelligence creating, so many tools have come in, and as you said, people want it instant. And that, how do you balance that as an artist in terms of the existence of so many new tools as well as your own creativity, which will
Yeah,
take a lot of
I
time to
don't
build?
care about artificial intelligence in terms of art. I think it's a tool to use for the everyday person, but as a creative and as an artist, there's a lot to be said about passion and what you put into the artwork. I want to leave you with I want to share something with you, right? Vincent Van Gogh, his last words were, "The sadness will the sadness will last forever." And when you look at Vincent Van Gogh's career, his mental health is probably the most appreciated aspect of his art. You know how many people can relate to that, to mental health issues? Um, Vincent Van Gogh's artwork is alive hundreds of years later, and not because it was created instantly like artificial intelligence. It's because you can see the pain in his artwork. You can sense the energy. You know what I mean? So I don't. Artificial intelligence is like it's cool. It's just like Photoshop. It's cool.
Right, right, Kevo. There is much to understand about you. There is much to learn from you, and I guess this is just one episode. There are several books you have written. Tell us about
Yeah,
the books that you have written, so that people also know about them and also
yeah.
maybe
And
get to
then
read
now,
it.
even with you bringing up books, that makes it more interesting in terms of artificial intelligence because now there are tools to help people write. So, like, I'm just giving you an example of what you said earlier about how do people get motivated. If you're not motivated in 2023, something's wrong with you. If you want to write a book, you can just ask artificial intelligence to write it for you these days. Um, but yeah, I've written a few books. I think that honestly, the more as I get older, I realized that my writing was just me being an artist, expressing myself because I just didn't know how to deliver the artwork to the world in another format. So for example, with my Vincent Van Gogh stage play, my way of being an artist, my way of expressing how I feel about Van Gogh was not through writing. You know, I know I wrote books, you know, I know I can draw, I know I can write poetry. My way was making a performance art for Van Gogh. So my books were just another way of another form of my creativity. Just like my films, I write films, and you can't. I some of my films that I've written, I can't paint them. You know what I mean? Like not
Right.
literally, but it's just another way to express it. This idea I have, maybe it doesn't need to be a drawing. Maybe this needs to be a movie script, and that's what happens.
Right, right. You also express about racial dynamics through your art. You know,
Yeah, racism is
yeah,
huge here in America.
right. What I want to understand from an outside person is it the problem that is inherent that needs to be, or is it politics that is aggravating the problem with more and more politicization of things? How do you look at that part with elections very much around the corner, amidst the elections in the US?
Yeah, it's a
How do
little
you
bit of
see this
everything, man. It's a little bit of everything because it's like impossible for me to be racist, you know. So I'm very pro black, and that's a weird mix, you know, being pro black and feeling like it's impossible to be racist. But you know, within my personal life, you know, some of the worst people I've met have been white or black. Some of the best people I've met have been white or black. Some of the worst friends I've had have been Asian, Hispanic, white, or black. Some of the best friends I've had, Asian, Hispanic, you know, and living in such a diverse city like Houston, you know, um, and being an artist, I'll say that the beauty of art history is that you get to learn from everybody, and that's a which is like my thing. Art history is really my thing, and the beauty of it is that you don't just artists just don't walk around saying, you know, I'm the best painter. You know, they walk around and they say, man, I really love French paintings. I really love Baroque statues. Or that's how artists operate. You know, a true artist thinks like, man, I love the Renaissance art. Artists aren't out here like, man, you know, black people sure can draw. You know what I mean? So it's mentally I'm drained with racism, and you know I have a lot of favorite stuff, and some of it is black, some of it is African, some of it is Europe, Asia, South America, North America, and the list goes on.
right, right,
But
Kevo?
to answer
I'm
your
just
question,
thinking,
yeah, it's a lot of things that affect racism here in America. It's not I can't really pinpoint it. It's just the ignorance that may not ever go away.
right, right. I was just thinking, so you are in Houston, Texas, and from there, we look at the universe, you look at the skies, we look at a world, different worlds. We try to find worlds which will be, there full of life, which can hold us.
Yeah.
What, as an artist, do you see at our world? How can art make this world a better world so that, we never have to leave this world and look at the other worlds?
Well, art is a part of our everyday life, so man, I don't know, man, because everybody, you know, art is so subjective that everybody has their own opinions. Like I'll give you an example, right? I went to the movies recently and I saw Oppenheimer, and as a filmmaker, I was, man, this is a almost perfect film. But but if you ask, I feel like if you ask anybody in the world right now, like what's the best movie out right now? You know, they would probably say Oppenheimer, right? But Barbie outsold Oppenheimer. And so the thing about art is that you can't just think like, oh, how is it going to make the world better, or is people like what they like? And art is not. There's no rules to say that you have to be serious, or I choose to be thought provoking and educational, but there are no rules that say you have to do something. Because you know who's to say if I made Oppenheimer and you made Barbie that I'm better than you? You can say, "Oh, I sold more than you." So I don't know, man. I don't think that it's tough right there, man. My view of the world to be better has almost nothing to do with art. I think people need more hugs or something, I guess.
Right, right. There is much to discuss. There is much to learn. A lot of people would like to know more about you. So, what is the best way for them to learn more about you, and also for those who want to professionally engage with
Well, if you're in Houston, you see my shirt right here, the Vincent shirt.
you? Right.
I have a stage play called Vincent about Van Gogh that's going to be dropping Christmas Eve. It's the world premiere. My website is artbykevo.com, and my Instagram is Kevo Arts. I usually update everything on social media these days. I've been trying to be more active on there, but it's pretty tough because it's not real life. So it's hard to get on there. Like if I'm on my phone, I'd rather read a book or play chess or, you know. So I think I could do TikTok. I could watch random videos on there, but it's hard for me to just post because my only purpose of posting is promotion. So, but yeah, man, artbykevo.com. This is where you can find any of my merchandise, any of my shirts, any of my artwork, or even inquire about me creating some art for you out there in the world.
Absolutely. On this note, it's a wrap on this very special edition of the KJ Masterclass Live. Thank you so much indeed for joining us.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.